Hello guys and welcome back. This is Mr. Siege, and yes, it's another fantastic day for engineering, and we have the new Epic Engineering Commanders skills in front of us right now, so we can take a look and let's see what we think. Now, at first glance, I think this looks okay, but what can we really expect for season 2 Epic Commanders? We can't expect too much. So stick around, watch the video, and we'll see what we could do with these commanders. I have some massive use for them, I think. So yeah, enjoy the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. So first of all, we have Catherine. Okay, she's got a rage requirement of 1,000, which is kind of normal. Now, at melee range, she can deal 900 direct damage factor, and obviously at range 500. That seems kind of low, but again, it is an Epic Engineering Commander. Now, I think the biggest thing actually on this skill is the damage taken increase. So whoever this troop is hitting, so when your Catherine is hitting another player on the field in front of your other troops' melee field troops, you are going to be making them take 15% more damage. Now that's going to help your troops, your other towers, and everyone else on the field, all your allies and all your kingdom as well, who are attacking that target. Now, if that's not great, then I'm not sure what is, but 15% more damage taken is kind of big, really. It's kind of a big deal. So let's move on and have a look at her second skill. So this commander's siege unit is getting 15% attack and 10% siege unit march speed. Kind of like low stats, I guess slightly low stats compared to what we're used to. We'd probably see either 15 or 20% march speed and possibly 25% maybe siege unit attack, so not masses of difference. And I don't think this skill is going to be like, oh no, that's really bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, it's a decent second skill, and again, it's just an epic commander. But the good thing about these epic commanders is anyone can invest, and they're basically free because you get loads of epic heads, loads of epic stars, and in the later game you don't use epic commanders, but you really could use these commanders on the field. So let's look at the third skill. Whenever this commander's troop launches a ranged basic attack, okay, it has a 30% chance, really high chance, to deal ranged additional damage to the target every second for the next 2 seconds, and that's 300. So that'll be a 600 damage factor over the 2 seconds, and then you're gonna have you'll have a 10-second cooldown. Now, instant proc is really nice. That's going to be hitting people pretty much every 10 seconds or so. I really don't think that's a bad skill at all. Okay, it's not broken, but again, we don't expect it to be. So let's look at the fourth skill now. So this is where it gets really interesting. Whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill, so that's the primary and secondary, but there is a cooldown of 5 seconds. So it's only going to be once every active skill cycle, basically. Both commanders will do an active skill, and then it'll be the next time. It should repeat itself because you're probably going to be doing active skill every 6 or 7 seconds once you've started rage gaining, generating rage at a decent amount. And it is up to 3 nearby allied or friendly troops, including this commander's troop. So it's yours plus 2 others. Each gain one of the following effects for 3 seconds, chosen at random. And that's 15% attack, 15% defense, and 15% health. Obviously, it's either one of those. It could be a random one of those. Now, buffing your other marches. Now, you may have 2 other marches or 3 other marches that have been the main damage dealers, which would be what mine would be. I may run Margaret and Cordoba, or Garja Cordoba and Margaret Babur, and they're going to be gaining attack, defense, or health when I'm running this march at the same time next to them. And that'll be the same when I run John or Stephen mixed with whoever. Obviously, I've not decided that yet. That's another video for the future. Possibly when we actually get these commanders in game, take a better look at them. But buffing your other marches, including their own, I think's really, really nice. Now, it's not a great amount, but anything is better than nothing. 15% is as if you're equipping another equipment piece onto your commander. You know, the chest piece on a ranged march, a legendary chest piece, is like 14.5% stats. So you're getting those stats added onto that march, and that's nothing just to throw out and say, no, that's not really a great skill. It is something, and anything is better than nothing. If I didn't have another march on the field, then I wouldn't be getting any bonuses. So any bonuses is great for me, to be honest with you. So the expertise, whenever this commander's troop launches a ranged basic attack, okay, this is enhanced for the lethal concoction. So yes, it has a 30% chance to deal ranged additional damage to a target. Again, 2 seconds, cool. Okay, right, so the expertise. So then the expertise changes that direct damage factor to 400, and it also increases to 500 if the target has less than 50% units remaining. That's kind of nice. So that's potentially 800 or 1,000 direct damage factor. So added on to the 500 of the initial first skill. Yes, so added on to that 500 of the initial active skill, you're going to be doing 1,500 direct damage factor potentially every 5 or 6 seconds, and you're making that target take more damage. So I really don't think this is a bad commander at all. And in KVK2, I think it's going to be super strong. These damage factors seem a lot stronger than a lot of the epic commanders for sure, and the fact that you're going to be doing that massive debuff on the enemy troops I think's really, really great. So that's Catherine. All in all, I think she's an amazing commander. Obviously, if you're in KVK2, you're going to pair her with Narcissus, okay? But if you're going to SOC, you're probably going to invest in a commander like Cordoba, and I think she'd go fine with Cordoba. I think potentially Narcissus is a better option to be paired with Cordoba when you're going to SOC. But let's go and take a look at him now. So yeah, here we have Narcissus, and again, another rage requirement of 1,000. Now, he has the defense tree. We didn't say that Catherine has the skill tree, which she does. Now, I'm not sure which way round you'd pair these yet, but obviously anybody will be able to try this because you can just max these commanders instantly. You really should have saved up enough epic sculptures and epic stars for these commanders. Obviously, if you're in the early game and you're expecting these to come out, you could have saved them up too. It really doesn't take that long. So let's read the rest of this skill. If this commander's troop is not within melee range of its current target, this skill deals ranged direct damage to target damage factor 300. So that's actually increased to 600 damage factor, which is fine. Okay, not massive, and it will reduce its march speed by 10% for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is quite a while. If that target's trying to pull out from a murder ball because it's being targeted, it's going to get hurt a lot more. Now, at melee range, 1,000 damage factor is actually quite a big deal in KVK2. I think comparing to other commanders of the same caliber, and the attack reduction for 3 seconds, it's actually quite strong. So these commanders will actually be quite strong at melee range too. Don't underestimate them in KVK2. You might go and attack them, and if you've got better gear on these commanders, like you've got your Harvester set or even the epic engineering set, I don't know when you actually get that in the game, but obviously you will want to get those, and you will want to crit them if possible. And then eventually when legendary equipment is available, then obviously you can progress onto that. But all in all, this first skill, it's okay. 600 damage factor at range and the march speed reduction, it's fine. 600 is kind of low, okay, but let's have a look at his other skills. Okay, this commander's siege units lose 5% attack but gain 10% defense. Now, obviously that's 10% defense at level 1 of the skill. If you level 5, it's going to be 25%. But does that mean you're going to lose more attack at this level? Are you going to lose 12.5% attack? Now, I did do some tests a while ago, and I actually found defense was actually quite strong for a siege march, whereas I thought attack would be way, way better. But defense actually does prolong your life on the field, and that's actually quite useful. But also your attack's useful. I'd love to add 25% and not lost any attack. If you're getting 25% and losing just 5% attack, then I'll take that. But if you're going to lose 12.5%, It's not an amazing skill, but I guess we're going to have to see that in game once we've leveled this up to 5. And we will do testing on these commanders, don't worry. So the third skill, whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill while in range mode, okay, do we get a cooldown on this? Possibly not. It gains 40 rage and a nice healing factor of 250. Now I say it's nice, it is actually nice. And it's whenever they use an active skill. So is there anything else? There's no cooldown either. So this could actually activate when Catherine does an active skill and Narcissus does an active skill. So twice in the skill cycle, which will give you a healing factor of 500 and a rage gain of 80. I'm thinking that's going to be the case anyway. That'll have to be something to be tested, obviously, once these commanders in the game and we actually do some testing. But that could be quite interesting. Rage gain is fantastic. You want to launch those active skills a lot faster, and every time you launch an active skill faster, you're going to get more rage and more healing factor. And there's no cooldown on that, which is kind of good, really. I'm happy with that, actually. That's nice. And obviously that'll work on your other ranged marches. I probably will run these on the field in B seed, so we'll see how that goes. But I will have to pair these up with a legendary commander. You know, I could use Catherine and Stephen, and I could use Narcissus and John maybe. That's just have to wait and see. And we don't know about the Mayan commanders either. We know I get some more siege commanders. I've no idea what the Mayan commanders are going to be, but I'm expecting them to be engineering, which would be kind of crazy, but I'm not going to argue about that, so that'll be great news. So whenever this commander's troop deals ranged direct damage, it gains 1% attack for 10 seconds. So that's 5% attack for 10 seconds. When it deals ranged direct damage, so that's, yes, all your active skills on these commanders, and it's also on, that should also be on the instant proc damages as well, and that can stack then to 20% because it can stack up to 4 times. So a bonus to 20% attack is fine. Like, attacks, again, like I say, really great on a siege march. So it's a decent enough skill, and it should be doing it all the time. It'll just reset after 10 seconds and then start stacking it again. But I'd say it might probably average out to about 10% attack most of the time, which isn't bad. It really isn't bad. So let's look at the expertise now. Okay, so this enhances that last skill we spoke about with the rage and the healing, which is great. So instead of 40 rage, it's going to be 60 rage, and instead of a healing factor of 250, it's going to be 400. Now that's going to be a lot of healing. That's every active skill. Okay, that's every active skill. So yeah, so whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill, so that's again, it should be Catherine and Narcissus, it's going to gain 120 rage then over that active skill period and 800 healing factor. As far as I'm aware, that's going to be the case. It's not just this commander. So again, that's something I have to test out once they're in game, but I'm thinking it's each commander, when the commander's active skills, each one pops off, this is going to take place, which would be absolutely massive. 120 rage and 800 healing factor. That's actually more than Margaret's. So could be really interesting. Overall, I think these are quite strong, and I think they have massive uses with the commanders we've currently got, the legendary commanders, and it makes it a lot easier to have that transition from KVK 3 to SOC or KVK 2 to KVK 3. Whether the legendary engineering commanders will become available in KVK 3, I'm not sure, but you'll be able to pair these commanders, especially Narcissus. I like him with his great healing and the rage regeneration for pairing with Cordoba, because the healing is going to help him. There's nothing really that's going to harm Cordoba's smite, or nothing that really wouldn't work with a smite commander as such. Plus, Cordoba takes I think it's 15 or 20% less ranged normal damage, and that's gonna be a bit more helpful for running an epic commander on the field. So all in all, I'm really pleased with these, and I think it's gonna be an amazing investment in KVK2. I bet a load of people in KVK1 right now are completely buzzing about this, because they really should be. 2 really strong commanders added to the game, not even just strong at melee, because I think they actually are, but they can fire at range, and they should be doing a decent amount of damage. And I'd love to see the reports of these from KVK2. Hopefully people will share them in the siege group. But yeah, all in all, I can't wait to use this on the field, especially with the rage gain, the healing, and also the buffing on your other marches. I think it's going to be really useful as well. So like I say, all in all, I'm very happy. Well done, Lilith, and let's just see what happens when they're in the game. Very excited to try them out. This was me, Mr. Siege. I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye bye.